you want me to start before that finish, right?
What happened? I'm going to start the music,
Mm-hmm.
and then you're going to speak over the music.
Okay.
And then,
Welcome, welcome, welcome to the Poets Cafe. It is where artist comes alive. The spoken word brings forth the inner creation of hidden treasures, expressing tones of lyrics felt within the soul, a vibration that rings stories untold. This platform represents artistic of all backgrounds, be it writers, singers, spoken word, artistic expressions, and painting, literature, poetry, and a journey through life. Mystery seeks to bring new ideas and opportunities through the mind at all levels. Wherefore my time leaving tomorrow on the wings of yesterday, where birds fly higher than the mystery of dreams never knew. Why do mellow sounds ring silently without ever leaving memories of my lonely blues? We walk by the calls of nature and sing in harmony while praying for the love of the skies and dancing within the stars like a feminine ballerina gazing across the stage in her soft-toed ballerina shoes. Welcome, everybody, to the Artist Poetry Show. Poetically Speaking, hosted by Terry Benjamin and Ron McCrae. Delighted as we are. We can't wait to engulf a new wave of presenting this platform for our audience. So, sit back and enjoy. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the like button. Now, let's get started.
Let's get started. Good afternoon, my brother.
Good afternoon. It's always a pleasure. How you doing?
Good. How you feel?
All right. Hey, I can't complain. I'm thankful for being here.
Hey, me too. It's so funny. We this is our second episode, and the theme this evening, ladies and gentlemen, is love. So that's a big topic, and I don't know if we have enough time to cover it fully, but we're going to take a stab at it. So, what do you think about this theme, love? What's your thought on that?
Love is interesting. I mean, it's often expressed.
That's right.
Too many say it, and I think, honestly, from my personal perspective, a lot of it, or a large percentage of it, is taken out of context.
Yeah.
So we use it lightly. But then we also think about the ones who are seriously thinking about what is love? How do you define love? How do you yourself define love? Is love just to say, I love you? Or I love to meet you? I love the time we spent together.
Yes, whatever.
But then again, what about the ones who really seeking to understand the love, that affection, that they want to feel the closeness of a desired soulmate or somebody that they can talk to without feeling uncomfortable? But love is what? You answer that question. You add to it. What is love to you? We like to hear from you. How would you define love in a more sincere, mature way?
Yeah.
You tell us. We're here to listen so we can converse back and forth.
Yeah, because we know you're out there. As a matter of fact, the first program we did, we got a lot of people who actually responded in the time we were doing the program, but then I got a lot of messages after the program. And so we appreciate that. We appreciate that because, again, this is our platform that we share with you. And again, we're here every Thursday and Sunday. Thursday from 6 to 7 and Sunday from 5 to 6. But just to sort of piggyback on what you were saying, again, love means many things to many different people. And I just want to share, just for our audience and just for our discussion this evening, this is the dictionary definition of love. It says love is strong affection, warm attachment, attraction based on sexual desire, a beloved person, unselfish and loyal and benevolent concern for others. So this is from the dictionary, but I'm sure you as an individual, you have your own idea of what love is, also what you've experienced. You know, again, there's different types of love. And again, we're going to explore that particular topic this evening through our poetry. We have different segments in the program. You know, we have our poet spotlight that we're going to, talk about love in that section. Then we have the music is lit, where I actually read some lyrics as poetry. So again, we're going to do that, and then after we do that, toward the end of the program, we're going to share some quotations about love. And we're going to respond to that, and we want you to think about it at home. Okay, with that said, Mr. McCrae, I think you have some poetry for us tonight, right?
Yes, and before I get into it, I'd just like to also extend this one quote from the Bible, 1 Corinthians 13. And it states that you may have the gift of midi, speaking in tongues, and you're able to do this, you all kinds of talent. So I'm just kind of paraphrasing it.
Yeah.
But that at the end of that verse, that chapter, it says, if you have not love, love is at the end. So all that, the talent and gift and everything that you have, but love is the ultimate, no matter how you look at it. So again, you have to define to you, yourself, what is love. And let me read this. Love is words to express why I love you so much. A million unexplained reasons why. All in short segments of silent expressions of words to be noted. My introductions of nervous words as to why I try to propose to say how much and why I want to marry you. Love is sincere of your tender touch, strong support, your arms locked around me, then I know I'm safe. Time is my security blanket with your heart embedded and entwined with mine. Love is every hour knowing I'm in your special gift wrap. Your smile embellishes me into an unstable way of thinking, doing without a word but knowing what to say in a silent tone. Love is encapsulated trust in me. Never demand my time when I'm at my low point until we communicate as one. Memories will grieve over lost stories of yesterday, photos. Love is when you are reminiscing over your love for me. Staring at you reminds me of the admiration without a question to shy away. The harsh tone in your voice will not scare my feelings, but draw me closer. Respect for family, legacy, and tradition. Given the benefit of reasoning without doubt. Listening for understanding of what's being said, even when it's unclear. The season of time you still know how to hold me. The yoke of love, the fragrance of your beauty smile when you whisper sweetness. The happiness when you smile, even on a cloudy day. I will stroll forward without wondering what's behind. Deep within the pose, my name called me humbly and sweet, never afraid to escape, but willing to gain access. The confidence you have is the foundation of my belief to love again. Footsteps toward the love of my soulmate, closer as one together. We are a bud vase of love. Love is.
Love is. And I really like the poem that you just read because, again, I liked where you started. It said, words express why I love you so much. Again, I think that everybody has their own idea of love.
Right.
And, it's so funny as you're reading, I was thinking about, there are really three types of love if you look at it. And you have eros, which is erotic love. You have platonic love, and you have agape love.
Right.
And the eros love, I think, is most people relate to because they think about the physical. But there's just one type of love. Then you have the platonic love. That's a love between a man and woman that's based on friendship. Then we have agape love. And this is the love that's found in the Bible. It's the love that we have for humanity. And I think, again, Ron, as we go through this evening, I mean, I want people to understand we got to expand beyond the eros, the platonic, and the agape to a point where we can find peace with each other. So I really thank you for that poem, the way that you open it up, because, again, love is many things to many different people.
And, you know, to add to that, love is also extended in a more sincere manner, as I stated earlier, and as you heard from what we was presenting to you about love. Mm-hmm. But let's talk to the ones who truly are looking for and trying to understand love. Yes. Now, I'm not excluding, nor am I shying away from those who just express it. Mm-hmm. But at this moment, those who are truly seeking and trying to understand love, because love ties into the emotion. That's right. Okay, the thinking, the feelings, mm-hmm. what you are thinking, what you are feeling. You want to, all of us really want somebody to love us in some way, yes. just to say, I love you, mm-hmm. okay, in a more humble way, in a more agape way, yeah. you know, to say, hey, I know somebody cares about me, yeah. so I'm not alone. So that's what's important, yeah. you see. It's so when you're looking for love, think about it. When you're in school, at work, mm-hmm. when you write the word down, when you see it, love, I love you so much. But for you, you think about what it means to you, because a large percentage of people are really looking for an intimate understanding of what love really means, mm-hmm. that affection, a sincere relationship, of that somebody cares about me.
And it reminds me of the song by Teddy Pendergrass, where he says it's so good loving somebody when somebody loves you back. And as you express, you know, we want to give love, but we want to receive love. And it's just so sad. We live in a society where they said there's an epidemic of loneliness, that people have even died from loneliness. And again, I just think that love, the beautiful thing about love is love makes you feel noticed. You know, someone has to know you to love you. And I think that's what you were sort of implying in what you had to say. And again, I mean, love is something that I won't say is our birthright, but I would say it's something that we all strive for.
You know, love is life. Everyone that is breathing, all of God's creation that is living right now, that's breathing, from the tiniest microscopic gnat to the more massive, let's say, mammal, elephant. Yeah, yeah. But now we're down to you and I. Okay, we see all around of us. We say, I love these clothes, I love these shoes, I love this flower, right, I love this. Yeah. But what is it that you really, truly love about that which you express or that which you see? Mm-hmm. Did you take time to examine it? Mm-hmm. Did you take time to look at it, to express what is it representing to me, for me to say, I love those shoes, I love that, whatever that love may be, what is it? And that's what's important, to take time for you to understand what is love.
Yeah, yeah. It's important to know that, because sometimes we think love is attention, and sometimes that attention can be a problem. That's why, you know, some women have stalkers, you know, and they think it's funny to be noticed, but to get to the point where it's a little too much, especially when you have someone who's loving you. You can't return that love, and they get kind of mad with you because they feel that you owe them something. So I think it's kind of important to understand that love is an exchange of mutual affection. Okay, I love you, you love me. I can't love you if you don't love me. And if you don't love me, I can't afford you to love me. So I think that that's something that we have to understand, especially in these crazy times. You know, people get a little crazy when the love is not returned or reciprocated.
And how do you communicate? And, you know, even whether the topic is love, but how do you express that which you aren't expressing? But it comes with listening. How do I listen to you to understand the expressions of silentness? That's right. The frown on your face, but not necessarily mean that you're angry about something. You could be thinking, how do we love? Love is creating the image of a picture that you really want to see the outcome of. And that's what's important. So again, when I look like I'm mad at something, it's not about that. Can you just hold me? Can you just whisper something to me.
That's right.
What
right.
is love?
Yeah.
How do you define it? And in short, one, especially those in a relationship, baby,
That's
I just want
important,
to
yeah.
say I love you.
Yeah. And it's so funny because a lot of times, people get themselves sort of caught up because, when if a woman tells a man that she loves him, now she expects him to say, I love you back.
Right.
Now it gets kind of awkward when he says, I love you, and it doesn't come back. I mean, if I say I love you, I expect that to come back and without hesitation. Because if there's a hesitation, then maybe there's no love, or you got to think about it.
And that's what's important. And that's where it really creates a distraction. And one has to be aware that, with all due respect, those who you're with or around, the sincere response or the sincere expression, as opposed to pacifying somebody. Oh, I love you. You know I love you.
Yeah, we got to put that to the test. How much do you love me? What are you willing to do for me?
Right.
And then I don't know if that love, that type of transactional love, is really love. But I guess it's whatever you feel it is.
And you have to also look at it. It's not all in material things.
No,
if you love me, then you
can't.
would have bought this. If you love me, you would have done that.
Ooh, wow.
It's not all about that. It's about really having an internal connections of the mature feelings of what it is about life, my life, that I can sincerely say, I know this person has my back. It could be friends, family,
whatever.
It could be
whatever
strangers.
It, is. Yeah,
It could be your soulmate. It could be your brother, cousin, whatever. Somebody will say, I got your back because I love you. I know you're hard-headed, but I love you. I know you're mad at me, but I still love you.
Yeah,
But
true.
I'm loving you, and I'm saying I'm loving you, not because to pacify you, but because I just want you to know I understand, and I'm starting to learn more about who you are, your characteristics. And that's what it is when one says, I love you, I'm in love with you.
Yeah, that's true. Again, I think it's a situation. They have a very popular book out called Love Languages. And again, people say, well, what is your love language? Okay,
Right.
Let's say if your love language is physical touch. Well, your partner is supposed to know that, if they express love to you through physical touch. Some people's love language is gifts. So you give me gifts, well, yeah, you're showing me that you love me. Some love language is quality time. If you spend this time with me, you're, as they say, you're filling my love cup.
Right.
And that type of thing. But I think a lot of times, people just get caught up in what everybody is saying about love, and really that's not what it is. And that's why, here we speak in poetry, we speak poetically, because sometimes a metaphor or a simile can express love in a way that a lot of people will understand. Because again, I think love is more than a feeling. I think that it's really about communication. It's really about mutual respect. It's about shared values, which we'll get into a little later on. But the point that we're making tonight is that the theme is love. And that's what we're going to talk about. That's what we're going to poet about, about love. Tonight is love.
And, and it really narrows down to also those who are single, those who are, whatever the case may be, you really have to delve inside yourself to understand the whole characteristics of who you are, to say how much you love. This is more than just standing in front of the mirror. Oh, I love me. I love some me. But do you understand you? And that's the key when loving or being in love, is the understanding. The scripture says, in all thy ways get an understanding.
That's right.
But if I don't get an understanding about who I am, and yet I'm expressing to you, I love you, but I don't feel it. See, something's wrong, because the receiver knows that you don't mean it. And then what happens, friction creates. And now you have a forest fire, and a storm and an earthquake and everything else, and everyone's going different directions trying to figure out what happened.
That's true, and again, I think, when you're talking about love and you're talking about how to define love, I think everybody has to be on the same page. Because, again, if we're not, we're going to realize that, at one time they were saying that 50% of marriages end in divorce. But I think in these modern times, it seems to me that 70% of marriages end in divorce. And I always think that, that divorce, one part of it, there's other parts of it, is a sort of lack of communication.
You know, as I read earlier, one of my pieces, and I just want to skip over to highlight a couple of things.
Yeah.
Words to express why I love you so much. Love is the sincerity of your tender touch.
That's right.
Your smile embellishes me into an unstable way of thinking. Staring at you reminds me of the admiration without a question or shy away.
That's right.
All that is what we're talking about.
That's right.
Love. To express those hidden words, those thoughts. As I said, words to express why I love you so much. And you can get jiggly or joyful or whatever. Honestly, it's like that innocent child within us. I mean, the Bible says to be as innocent as a child.
Right.
So to love somebody, to be in love, is to show that sincere and sensitive motion. When a child come up to you, and all those who have kids and grandkids, when they come up to you, they say, I just love you, daddy, mommy, whatever. I just want to hug. And that's where we as adults get away from. I just want to hug you just because. Oh, baby, that's so great.
and that's all well and good, but I think a lot of times, we don't understand that love is, well, it should be unconditional, but I think a lot of times it's not. I love you because you're giving me this, or you're giving me that, or you're saying this, or you're saying that. And again, we talk about children. Children love unconditionally. They just love you because of who you are. So I think again, it's a broad topic.
Yes.
It's a broad topic, and there's many different aspects of it.
Right.
Now, before we go on to another segment, do you want to share any more poems with us? Because again, this is the place for the spoken word.
Yeah, let me read this one.
Okay.
And this kind of ties into what I had read earlier, which is a continuation. And this one's titled Stimulation. And that's what's important. How do you stimulate somebody? How do you stimulate yourself? Stimulation is a unique format that leads to the front cover inside out, titled Love. Expose mature conversation, laughing about whatever comes to mind. A refreshing time to jiggle joy from the inner gut. Love is not lustful sex. It is not painful, and it leaves no scars or sadness. It's the garden of the inner life. Each person journey towards tomorrow's growth, cultivating a legacy that will never fade without the true pain of feeling one will always crave. Stimulating a romantic moment stimulates the mind, body, and spiritual soul deep within. Tomorrow, today, and yesterday, I stimulated a friendship, relationship. Wait for the next prayer to reflect on time I spent with a polite person with manners, a sweet, gentle, and kind stranger. I always remember the moment of real inner joy so as not to forget a stranger's name. Your eyes, hair, lips, gleaming smile, and romantic complexion, shaded sparkles with all the rhinestones of precious jewels. Soft, quiet, rhythm blues, as the trumpet danced to the saxophone, piano, keyboard, exposing the beauty as it undresses the colorful style of glamour that you are, is why love is still a mystery.
That's beautiful. That's a beautiful thought. It's a mystery. It's a mystery, so that means it's a mystery. We're not going to be able to solve that in this particular hour, but we want to move on. in the program. This is the part of the program which we call this the the Poets Spotlight. And this particular time, we really have a poet that I got to know personally. I had spent time with him. When I was in my youth, in my teens, I went to Newark to find my black manhood. So I got involved with Imamu Amiri Baraka, also known as Leroy Jones. And he's in the spotlight this evening because he died on January the 9th, 2014. And again, like I said, I got a chance to meet him. And it's really probably one of the first time I met a famous person, because I saw him on TV and I heard his poetry and that kind of stuff, but I actually got a chance to meet him. And it's so funny when you meet somebody, who you have a lot of respect for, especially a man to man, you keep on thinking these people are giants.
Right.
And I met Imamu Amiri Baraka, and I stood next to him, and he was smaller stature. And his shoulders were about this big, but he was still a powerful man. And he had his afro, as you can see back there. His brother in the afro and the beard and the dashiki. Mm-hmm. And got a chance to spend many, many hours with him, and really to see the kind of man that he was. And this is a quote from Amiri Baraka. He talks about the role of the artist. He says the artist's role is to raise the consciousness of the people, to make them understand life, the world, and themselves more completely. Otherwise, I don't know why you do it. And he means, why do we create black art? Why do we create black poetry? Well, we create it because we want to know ourselves a little bit better. And another thing that he said, another quotation he says there, because people were knew him as Leroy Jones, and then he came up to Harlem and he changed his name and also changed his perspective. And it says here, and I quote, "I changed my name when we became aware of the African Revolution and the whole question of our African roots." So when he discovered his Africanness, where he discovered his African ancestry, that he changed his name to Imamu Amiri Baraka. And again, and his legacy is not just in his poetry, because he has children, and he has two prominent children. His son is Ross Baraka, who is the mayor of Newark, New Jersey, also running for governor. And his daughter, her name is Dominic DePrima, and she is a host on KBLA radio. And so again, a son and a daughter who really carry on his legacy, carry on his life, because they're very much in the spotlight. And so in the Poet Spotlight this evening, we presented Imamu Amiri Baraka. Ron, were you aware of Baraka? Did you know of him, of his work or anything?
Going a ways back, I did. Younger, you hear, because I used to hear so much. I used to hear the name a lot. Yeah. I think I may have probably seen him maybe once or twice, but you're right. The name resonates so often during that time, that era. So even as it's spoken now. And actually, I was surprised when the mayor now, when I found out that he was a son of, so I said, wow. And I met his father way back, but it was only short. I didn't know who he was,
Right.
I knew that at that time, especially in Newark, a lot of black business, a lot of blacks was doing a lot of things. That's right. It was a culture. Right. But yet in the same token, they still was fighting for and representing freedom. And that's what's important.
It is, and it's so funny because, we had, when I was in the organization, it was called US, and we celebrated Kwanzaa. And it's so funny, I celebrated Kwanzaa with the creative Kwanzaa, Malana Ron Karanga. He came and we celebrated Kwanzaa with him. And so again, like I said, meeting these famous people is another man, is smaller stature, but very, very powerful. And it's funny to me is that I got a chance to meet Muhammad Ali, and he wasn't as tall as I thought he would be, but he was like wide. And again, I mean, you know, when you come into greatness, when you meet these people who are great, it makes you feel that, you know, there's possibilities for me. I mean, I don't consider myself great, and who knows what my legacy might be. But the thing is that I really appreciate the fact that I can meet these people and to celebrate these people. So tonight we celebrate Imamu and Mary Baraka. And like I said before, we're going to go through all those photos and let you know who those people are, because these are people who have inspired me, and I'm sure some of the works have inspired you. I want to go a step further, and I want to, before I go into Music is Lit, I just want to add a little piece to the Poets Spotlight, because the last time we actually spotlighted Nikki Giovanni, who was up there on the board as well. And I want to share one of her most popular poems. Again, when you think of Nikki Giovanni, you think of ego tripping. But another poem, Ron, that people think of her is a poem called My House. And this is by Nikki Giovanni. And this is going to sort of segue into when I get into Music is Lit, where I actually read lyrics as poetry. But I want to share this with you and with the audience. And this is My House, Nikki Giovanni. And it says here, I only want to be there to kiss you as you want to be kissed when you need to be kissed. Where I want to kiss you because it's my house and I plan to live in it. I really need to hug you when I want to hug you as you like to hug me. Does this sound like a silly poem? I mean, it's my house and if I want to fry pork chops and bake sweet potatoes and call them yams because I run the kitchen and I can stand the heat. I spent all winter in carpet stores gathering patches so I could make a quilt. Does this really sound like a silly poem? I mean, I want to keep you warm. And my windows might be dirty, but it's my house. And if I can't see out, sometimes they can't see in either. English isn't a good language to express emotion through, mostly, I imagine, because people try to speak English instead of trying to speak through it. I don't know, maybe it is a silly poem. I'm saying it's my house, and I'll make fudge and call it love, and touch my lips to the chocolate warmth, and smile at old men and call it revolution, because what's real is really real. And I still like men in tight pants because everybody has something to give, and more important, needs somebody to take, something to take. And this is my house, and you make me happy, so this is your poem. And again, it's sort of delightful that, you know, it's like it's sort of whimsical, you know, because again, a lot of times with the black poetry of this era, it's always like angry, you know, black power, and we want to kill the man, we want to do this and whatnot. And sometimes to be like soft and maybe whimsical is something that a lot of people don't understand, you know.
And you know, to tie into that, it's interesting because I also listen to that. And what's important when you really delve into it and understand the expression within the poetry dynamics, she's saying it's my house. And I want to kind of ship but not ship. Yeah. You know, when you have people come to your house or you go to somebody's house and you start to become a critic. I said, wait a minute. And I'll use me as an example. Even with my kids, if somebody come, you know, and say, oh, you da-da-da. I said, well, it's my house.
And I live here.
And I live here. I pay the bills. And that's what's important. It's my house.
It's very important.
What you got on? It's my body. It's my house. And see, and that's what's important. That's what you learn to appreciate and love somebody, as the topic and the theme today is around love. Right, but in the same token, the whole platform is about poetry. We're telling a story. We want to listen to your story. Right. And as it was expressed earlier, even as the pictures in the back, all the poets back then, see, they was telling their story. But what's important is the fact that they are up here. They worked their way up to that platform. But have you looked around yourself, your community, those you think is not doing anything? Because everyone around you is creating something, young, middle, old. Just listen to their story. And I say this also, this one piece, in all due respect. even what we see physically as homelessness,
Oh,
but they have a story.
they do. They do have
You
a story
see,
to tell.
and in the same token, to come back to is their house, no matter where they live or whatever. They're saying this is my house, and I'm quite sure we all seen, for the most part, you go and invade a homeless person's space, and they'll tell you,
Ooh,
"This is my
territorial.
house. This is my space." I mean, if you don't like
these
it,
cardboard.
you can move. Exactly.
That's right.
So all this ties in together as one. Understand, respect, and appreciate somebody else's house because you want somebody to know that this is your house. But be mindful and mannerable, respectful in your house. You see, and that's what it all ties down to, down to, is what is love. You see, as we said earlier, in various segments of it, but I'm respecting you.
That's right.
No matter what I cook or how I fix it, it's my house.
That's right.
But you have the right to leave. I'm not going to criticize you, crucify you, but it's my house.
That's right.
I like that.
and it's so funny because I know when I was growing up, I had a lot of relatives and friends who lived in the projects. Now you think of the projects of being like a rundown buildings and that kind of stuff, and maybe dirty outside. But the beautiful thing about it, and the beautiful thing I think of black people, is that we live in the projects. Okay, we live in the ghetto, but the ghetto doesn't have to be in us. Because I go down to the projects and go to visit relatives. They open up the door, and it's a beautiful place. It's the nice furniture. It's clean. It's orderly. They may be cooking some food, so it's a good smell. Or they might have incense burning and that kind of stuff. And so I think, again, we have to understand that many times, it's a cliche, but it's true. Beauty is in the eye of the beholder. Okay, I might look at something, and I might say it's beautiful. You might say, I don't understand that. That doesn't look nice to me. But again, we're talking about love. We're talking about love, okay? Love. And this, I want to segue into another part of the program, and I call this Music is Lit, is where we look at songs as poetry. And I think, again, I got a couple that I want to read, but I think this first one is going to be very familiar to many of you because it's by Al Green. And the thing is, when I listened to Al Green, I didn't know if he was preaching a sermon or if he was singing a love song. Sometimes I was confused, okay? But this poem song was written in 1975 by Al Green and his producer, Willie Mitchell. And it's from the album entitled Al Green is Love. And it's entitled Love, Love. And it reads, I started to write this song about you. Mm-hmm. And then I decided that I would write it all about love. Mm-hmm. And it appeared to me that you wasn't happy. And that's for sure positively, that's what the word is made of. So give me more Love, love, love. Love is a walk down Main Street. Oh, love. Love is an apple that is so sweet. Love is something that can't be beat. Love is strange to me. Lord, I can't explain this feeling. Can't you see that salvation is free? It's all in the heavens. Can't you see you can always depend on me to give you love? Love. Love is a flower in my soul. Oh, love. Love is a story that just can't be told. Love. Can't you feel it burning more and more? Stop and look at the big wheel roll. I can't explain this feeling. Can't you see that salvation is free? I would give my life for the glory just to be able to tell the story about love. I didn't mean to make you mad. A sweet story I thought I had, but maybe time will bring us together and I can be such a happy fellow about love. Love is something that is so divine. Oh, love. Love is a feeling that's a friend of mine. It can't be measured by no sign in your heart or in your mind. You got to love. About love. Love is bright as the morning sun. Oh, love, where it is, I don't know how far, no love. And that's Love, Love by Al Green. And it's so funny, I was joking about it. Like I said, I didn't know if it was a sermon or a love song because he talks about salvation. Mm-hmm. Salvation is free. I don't think I'm going to talk to a woman around about salvation, but again, I think it comes together in the person of Al Green,
And that was a nice song. I mean, I have the album. Well, they were albums then.
Yeah.
If you have an album today,
It's a
that's
CD.
straight. I'm telling you, it's a CD down to a flash drive.
That's right.
So, but yeah, that was a good song. It was a fantastic song. And matter of fact, as you was reading it, I could hear his voice in the music. And especially the tone in which he was delivering it. It makes you want to sing, even though I'm not a singer.
I mean, I wanted to bust out a song, but I didn't want to embarrass myself. But the point is, ladies and gentlemen out there,
Right.
these songs are poems to us because, again, we can sort of isolate the message. And this next song is a poem. It was a song that was really created in the summer. It was they had a summer program in East Harlem, and they brought young people together because what happens, especially in urban cities, the summer sometimes can be problematic for young people. So they had this program. They had a arts program. They brought the kids together, and they learned how to do poetry and songs and music and that kind of stuff. And out of this particular coming together, they actually developed a group, a group of young people. And the name of the group was the Voices of East Harlem. And they came up with a song. They came up with a song that actually made the charts. It was written by Joe Reeves, Janice Hudson, and Leroy Hudson, and Michael Hawkins. Now, Leroy Hudson actually produced this song with Curtis Mayfield. And the song, like I said, a lot of people have heard it. It's one of those songs that comes on the radio, and you say, like, who's singing that song? Who's that song? Because I think the Voices of East Harlem, they made one album, but that was it. They didn't actually, if they did anything else, I'm not aware of it. But this song is really a song that you really got to hear them sing. And I'll try to do some justice by reading it. But it's called Giving Love. And this is actually performed by the Voices of East Harlem. And it begins like this. It says here, did you hold someone's hand today? Did you try to understand? Did you help someone who's down beneath the ground? Then you're giving love. Who's to say where the road may lead? Loving now is what we need. Or is happiness just an illusion? Life can be what you want it to be, but it's really up to you whether or not we all get together. People, we're going to have to live. Is there something you can do just to make a dream come true? Standing strong for what is right, come day or night, then you're giving love. Who's to say where the road will lead? Loving now is what we need. Or is happiness just a strange illusion? Life can be what you want it to be, but it's really up to you whether or not we all get together. People, we're going to have to live. If there's something you can do today to make a dream come true, standing strong for what is right, come day or night, then you're giving love. Someday soon there will appear, smiling faces reappear. People everywhere will see when you live in harmony, then you're giving love. When you live in harmony, you're giving love. And again, I that's another song. I really try to find that song. We have the ability now just to bring it up on Google. It's a beautiful song. It's a beautiful song, and the young lady that sings it, she does a beautiful job. And so, please, that's a song that's your homework. Google "Giving Love" by the Voices of East Harlem, and you will be blessed because that is a beautiful song.
And to continue on that, as I was sitting here thinking, and as we are expressing, it's poetically speaking. It's about artists all around. Everybody is an artist. It's just that when you bring it to life and showcase your talent, your inner self, it's understanding the lyrics, whether it's poetry, whether it's painting, because the painter is telling the story. He or she is reading something to you, but in a silent way. It's up to you to open up your mind and see the expression. that he himself or she herself cannot express to you. But you gain something from that, because once you leave that place, you say, I understand, I see something. It's the same thing with poetry. It's the same thing with a rapper.
That's right.
It's the same thing with R&B, jazz, blues,
Yeah.
even as it was just expressed and read and whatnot. There's a story. See, it's beyond the music. And one has to understand the music gets us jumping. But after the music stops, what have you learned or listened to? What did something fulfill your inner for you to remember to say, now I get something. Now I understand something.
That's a beautiful point. And again, we thank you for tuning in, and we have some people, some comments. We have a comment from Al Sadiq Banks to keep on working, big bruh, Terry Benjamin. And I want to give a shout out to Al Sadiq Banks, who is a novelist.
Absolutely.
And we might have to change our format to bring the brother in, because I know he has something to say to us. Norman Bradley, Tarika Gilbert, Karen Elaine Davis, Tasha Vaughn, Sheila Bird. Good evening, everyone. Hey, Sheila. Wade Hudson. I love it. We're going to have Wade Hudson come on the show and read some of his poetry. Wade, I just want to let you know I got Cheryl's book in the mail today, so I want to give a shout out to Cheryl, and I'm going to enjoy the book very, very much. So when I get home, that's what I'm going to do. Again, so these are the people who are actually watching what we're doing, and I really appreciate that. Because again, you don't know who's out there, and because they're out there, it is an encouragement to us. But I want to continue with this whole concept of love, and we talk about it. But I know for myself, I like to go to other people and what they think about it. Tasha Vaughn is out there, and I want to share a quotation with you
Sure.
and also with the audience. And this is from Bell Hooks, who is a philosopher, a writer, very well known. And this is what Bell Hooks says about love. She says here, to truly love, we must learn to mix various ingredients. Okay, this is the ingredients, okay? Care, affection, recognition, respect, commitment, and open communication. This is Bell Hooks. I just want to go through those ingredients because it really resonates here. Care, affection, recognition, respect, commitment, and trust, as well as, and this is the kicker, as well as honest and open communication.
Absolutely. Without question.
Because you could communicate, but it's honest and open.
That's right. One of the biggest things I always say, because if you lie to you, you're going to lie to me. And matter of fact, I think Nikki Giovanni, I think she said the same. Matter of fact, she had an interview with James Baldwin.
Yes.
She said, I want you to lie to me. But see, if you lie to me, then I know you're being honest.
Right.
But then you have to be honest with yourself.
That's right, yeah.
Because if you're honest with yourself, then you really won't lie to me because you didn't lie to you. And so it's important to know that.
It is. And I remember that interview because he said, if I love you, I can't lie to you. And she said, no, you're going to lie to me. And it's really interesting because, she was very young at that time.
Absolutely.
And he was the man. He right. was the elder statesman of writing.
Right.
He was the man to the point where, when you talk about black writers, you talk about James Baldwin.
Yeah. And she said, no, I want you to lie to me. But see, when you listen to and think about the conversation, the way it was going back and forth, there's a message behind it.
Yes,
I always say, listen to what's not being said.
Yes.
And listen to what's being
read
said.
Between the lines, right?
Absolutely. You have to understand it. As it was just said, I can't lie to you if I love you. No, I want you to lie to me. Well, there's a meaning. Understand what is being expressed is what's important. Because again, if you don't think about what you're saying, what you're thinking, what you're feeling, and being honest to yourself,
right.
as you just said, be honest with yourself.
Yes.
Because that's where it starts.
That's right.
Am I honest with myself to really tell the story or express what I truly feel? Because we have people out here just both, they don't care. I mean, without getting into it, is that the one that's just being elected?
We won't get into that.
And we won't get into it. But I'll say this. You know, I give that person credit. I give that person 5 stars. You know why? Because that person said, this is who I am.
That's right.
That's it. He didn't lie to you.
No. Yeah. But Maya Angelou said the same thing.
Right.
When someone tells you who they are,
That's right.
believe them.
That's right.
Okay.
That's it.
Believe them.
Don't challenge them. Just believe it.
Because they know. They know themselves. As a matter of fact, they know themselves better than you ever can.
Absolutely.
Because, again, it's so funny because people can be married for 10, 20, 30 years and still not know that person.
Right.
Because understand this, people change. And hopefully they change for the better, but they do change.
And it's you to understand, or it's somebody to understand how the wind blows.
Right.
There's a scripture that says, Jesus said to Nicodemus, he said, you hear the wind, but you know not which way it bloweth. And so in the relationship and love, and as you just indicated, people have been together for many years, but still don't know. But all you have to do is understand and feel the flow of that person, feel the vibe, feel the mannerism. You can kind of tell how he or she is feeling, or what they're getting ready to do, or what they're getting into, or what they're running from. Or maybe they just need a hug.
Well, that's the thing, But again, I think a lot of times we have sort of misconceptions about love, because there's a quote here that I want to read now. It's anonymous, okay? Just because I don't know who wrote it. But I don't know if I should even open this up, because it usually ends up in the argument. But I'm gonna ask you the question, and you're gonna tell me briefly what you feel. It says here, you can't help who you fall in love with. Is that true? You can't help who you fall in love with.
You can help.
You better help.
You can help. And if you're honest with yourself, you made the decision, whether you knew the story, behind the scene, whatever, you can help who you fall in love with. Whatever decision you make, be determined to follow through. But don't get mad at the rest of the world based on what you decided to do.
Well, that's the thing. But again, I think what happens, love is very deceptive, because, again, in the beginning of a relationship, it's so sweet,
right.
And really, medically, when you meet a new person and you start vibing and whatnot, there's chemicals that are released in your brain that call it dopamine, and you get the same dopamine rush when you're working out and whatnot. So when you meet somebody and you're vibing, you're dating, and you're having so much fun together, that dopamine is released, and it's almost like being high, because you love that person. You always think about the person. You can't wait to see them and whatnot. But ladies and gentlemen, here's the problem: the dopamine wears off after a while, and then you see that person for who they are, and you look at that guy and say, you know what? I didn't know his forehead was so big, Why does he breathe like that? Why does he chew his food like that? And then, and I always say, that's when the honeymoon is over.
And what's interesting, what's really interesting is that humans does the opposite of what creation has set the tone for. In other words, all those who have...
You gotta break that down. Yeah.
All those who have a pet, an animal of some sort, you give the best love and care to that animal. A dog will chew, mess with that dog food.
It bite you.
A cat will cuddle up under you, you'll soothe that cat. But when it comes down to human nature, the person you are with, you can help, but you also have to ask yourself, why did I treat my mate opposite of what I treat my pet, my animal, my birds, or whatever the case may be? You show tender love and care for that. You soothe that animal. You rub his or her back, or whatever the case may be.
Right. Yes.
But yet still you destroy your own. Now let me say this last part too.
Please.
Understand, each and every person at the sound of my voice, whether you believe or you don't believe, but understand this. You come from somebody. You came through your mother's wombs, from the Creator's hands.
His brother
He
preaching
sent
now,
you.
preaching.
When you came into this life, You came into a marvelous place. You looked around just like an infant child.
That's right.
You
That's
got
right.
excited.
It's amazing.
And go back to a kid.
Yes.
But the fact is, once a child raised up to a certain point in time, all of a sudden you become the worst enemy in the world. You have to ask yourself, why am I so
what
mad?
happened? Yeah,
Who
what
am
happened?
I mad at? How come I can't love that person that I'm with the way I soothe my animal, my pet?
That's right.
Even a parrot will talk to you and talk back to you. But you talk to that parrot, and that parrot repeat. But do you get mad at the parrot? No. But if I say something, you get mad at me. If I try to understand what the situation is and say, baby, I just love you. I just want to say I love. And then all of a sudden, it's like a tidal wave, a tsunami,
That's
an
right.
earthquake,
Yeah, that's
a
right.
volcano.
All of that.
All of that.
All the above,
You know, and then the person walks out traffic. I don't know what happened. What's wrong? But it starts with self. So yes, you can, in the choice that you make, understand and control the person you get involved with. It's up to you to understand that person. We don't learn or know a person because it takes time. It's a journey.
It is.
It's a journey.
It's not an overnight journey.
No.
You know?
But in the midst, the exact same way you walk and talk and carry yourself is the exact same way, in essence, that you should carry yourself in a relationship.
Yeah. Well, again, we're almost out of time here, but just a couple of points. First of all, I want to thank you for for tuning in and sharing your time with us. And again, the theme tonight was love. But I think, again, one of the things that I want you to understand is that it's kind of hard to love someone if you don't love yourself. So the first love that you really want to cultivate is love for God, and love for your family, but also love for yourself. Because, again, a lot of times you have people who feel they're unlovable for whatever it is. Like a lot of times, like past things they did, maybe past mistakes. Sometimes it's hard for us to forgive ourselves, because again we know our secret sins. We know things that we've done that are maybe not a good thing. But again, understand that forgiveness is real. We got to give ourselves grace. And so again, when we come to you on this program, we want to encourage you to be creative, to share your thoughts, share your feelings. And again, we're going to have to expand the program, I see, as we go through this. This is only our second episode, but I see we're maybe bringing some prose as well as poetry, because we want to be able to have people express themselves in some very real ways, And so I want to I have maybe one more quotation, only because of time, and we're just going to have to hit this and quit it. But my brother, this is what I want you to respond to. It says here, this is from Nikki Giovanni. It says here, black love is black wealth. What say you to that in the few minutes we have?
We don't have enough time, but let me just say short. When you look at yourself, and you look at your mate, you look at your partner, and when I say you love your mate, it's your surrounding, in your culture.
That's right.
We have to invest in each other, lift each other up better than ourselves. Because if I lift you up, you automatically going to lift me up, because somebody else is lifting us up. So black wealth is in our culture, but it's based on our thinking, our hearts, and emotional stability. Black wealth is in the black self.
That's right. And the thing is, again, just imparting, black love is black wealth, because, again, there are things that money can't buy. There are things that money can't buy, and these are things that we want to really impress upon you. One of the things that we talk about in this program, and again, I really send this out to all my creative people, mastering your craft, whether it be poetry, whether it be song, whether it be novels, whether it be plays or whatever, to master your craft is wealth, because you have within you something that you brought out through your craft. And so for us, and especially, with those who don't have a lot of money, black love that we have with our families, with our friends, and with ourselves is wealth. And so on that note, I want to say until we see you again, we thank you for tuning in. We thank you for being part of this particular program. And Ron, you want to say goodbye?
I just want to say, and matter of fact, if I may, right quick, let me just read this, the first line.
Mm-hmm.
This is a Poet's Cafe, poetically speaking. It's for everyone who's listening and looking for an opportunity. It is where artist comes alive. The spoken word brings forth the inner creation of hidden treasure, expressing tones of lyrics felt within the soul, a vibration that rings stories untold. That is you. We seek you, we invite you, we want you to come. So again, do not forget to hit the like and subscribe to this channel, because again, as we continue to move forward, it's all based on you, and we want to always bring you something new, exciting, and we look for you to keep us in your hearts and mind. Love.
Good evening.